more inventory, and her lockpick is a better tool than Chris's lighter. They're a master on lock. And
I have nothing really bad for Jill. She gets the grenade launcher, and she has Barry to help her out with some monster kills, as well as basically giving her the shotgun.
Agreed. Okay, B it is. Now the Barry burden.
Easy, it should be the same, right? B tier?
I would think that too.
No way, guys. He's almost as bad as Chris whenever he talks.
Nitpicky asshole.
Jesus Christ, Don, you're really swinging hard at this game tonight.
Hey, if you wanted honesty, so here it is. Barry may have had the bigger gun, but his dialogue, because he overheard it instead of the guilt he felt. Plus, need I remind you of the most famous line of all?
Oh, God. That was too close. You were almost a Jim standard.
You're right.
Oh man, I'm getting hungry now.
Idiot.
Also, wasn't there a scene where after Jill kills John, he walked over his corpse to ask if she's found anything weird at the house?
Jill, have you found anything interesting?
Oh, yeah, he's right. Is that a sentimental of something?
Hey, don't ask me. Joe's the expert. Fuck you both.
Okay. But I see he still helps out.
Yeah, he's right.
Fine, moving on. Rebecca is next.
Oh, yeah, let's rank Rebecca if you sin.
I can't wait for this one.
I bet you can, but it's going to happen.
Wow. What is it?
No shit. A cop is placing their service weapon. Disgraceful.
He still is able to create an explosive large enough to destroy the entire mansion and research facility.
Rebecca, did you kill her?
Yes, sir. I'll set up a triggering system for a bomb.
She's also the one who services the helicopters.
I'll service a helicopter recently.
So she has mechanical knowledge as well.
That's probably why it crashed in the first place.
Or something was wrong with the music.
Not good for your argument, Barry.
Sabotage, Dylan. Not her fault.
But her dialogue was still cringe as fuck with her constantly talking like a 12-year-old Boy Scout. Also, in one scene, she doesn't even know who Chris is.
Who are you?
I'm Chris, a Velvet.
Chris not knowing the company is one thing, but Rebecca not knowing who her co-worker is another. Plus, she nearly died to the hunter because, again, where the fuck is her gun?
But she helps Chris against Plant 42, using her extensive knowledge in biochemistry.
Nah, sorry, Barry, but I'm going to side with Johnny on this one. Other than the Plant 42, we don't actually see her doing any of the other traits she says she does. But Cindy McComic still didn't put much faith in her, and it shows. See here.
Yup, chuck her in the sea along with the others.
Dear Lord, this is ridiculous. Johnny can't be right. They can't all be C tier.
It was your idea to do each one per game instead of all lumped together, Barry, so this is your fault.
Don't let me baby my streaks on fire tonight. I can feel it.
Not for long, though, asshole. Next is Wesker.
Oh, shit. Wesker was kind of a joke in the OG, not going to lie.
Don't open that door.
His lines were just like everyone else's, but I think his main flaw was that he didn't seem like the backstabbing mastermind we know him as today.
In later games, he comes off as an evil genius, but in the OG, he actually sounds like he's about to cry with Chris laughing at Tyrant. There. Sorry, Don, but he's C tier as well.
Come on, you get stabbed by tyrants who fits a story and lives. Even in his low polygon form, he's a true juggernaut.
That may be, but in Bill's story, he gets knocked out by Barry, and that's it.
Ow! Calls everything demon, including the obviously not demon-looking giant fucking snake, which he then says is poisonous as an afterthought.
Well, he dies in the hallway from you on, regardless of whether you get him the serum or not.
Okay, sounds like D tier.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, and what about Enrico?
All he does is let the player know that there's a traitor amongst them.
Stars are doomed. Someone is a traitor.
Other than that, Wesker kills him, making him just another Stars member corpse. D tier.
Same.
I can see your point.
Honestly, they really didn't do anything but add to the horror of the game. But since they don't have any characterization or gameplay to speak of, they're really just fodder for the D tier.
He's right, man, Barry. This is already a pretty shitty list. What a terrible idea this was.
Fuck off, Flopton. It'll get better after this, you'll see. I mean, we're only talking about the first one in the series from 1996. It's bound to be low tier because of the production value alone.
That's true.
There's nowhere to go but up. So just stick with it and you'll see where it leads in the end.
We'll see, Barry.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the Resident Evil 2 characters from 1998.
Which ending are we going to use? The canon one?
Which one is canon again?
Technically, it's Claire A and Leon B. But for the sake of our rankings, we'll incorporate all of them because it's more fun that way. Who gives a fuck?
Fair enough.
Okay, let's start with Leon Kennedy, of course. Rest in peace, Paul. For real, he was amazing as Leon.
Straight back.
So where does Mr. Kennedy go onto this list? What have we got here?
Oh, Jesus, I forgot that his face looks like melted Play-Doh.
At least his graphics were a product of his time. What's your excuse for that turkey neck you got going on there?
At least I don't look like that wheelchair guy with the fucked up face in Hannibal.
Come on, guys, focus here. Leon did great on his first day, and even though we were still in the tank control era, his gameplay was very good. They even fixed up the dialogue going forward so the lines weren't cringe.
He did place way too much trust into someone he barely knows.
Yo, ain't no looking to do something like that.
Dude just met her like 3 hours ago. Cool your jets, homie.
Not to mention that for someone who tells Ada that he's responsible for keeping her safe.
As an officer, it's my job to look out for you.
The dude loses track of her constantly.
Ada, wait! Ada, wait! Ada, wait!
I can't argue with that. I would also like to add that I loved his alternative costumes, especially the one where he looked like a thug. He even tilts his gun sideways, which makes it shoot faster for some reason. Hey, tier shit right there.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Gotta support our women.
Of course. Let's move to Claire Redfield then.
Hell yes, my girl Claire ready to kick some zombie ass.
I have to admit, she really does hold up her own.
Girl carries a combat knife and she goes for a casual stroll. This Hellraiser is constantly ready for a fight at all times.
And yet she's immediately ready to take care of Sherry the moment she finds her. Motherly instincts kicking in hard on this one, boys. The bloodline is ready to be saved.
No cap, Leon, get in there already.
Not gonna lie, the way she tries to protect Sherry is truly heartwarming. But damn, she's almost as bad as Leon when it comes to keeping track of this little girl.
Wait, Sherry, don't go alone. Sherry, Sherry. I can take care of myself. Wait, Sherry, come back. Sherry, Sherry. Sherry, where are you?
Claire even manages to say a Sherry weight line herself.
It's here. Sherry, wait.
That's not completely on her, Barry. You can't stop a little girl from running off if she just wants to get away, right, Joe?
How the fuck should I know, Pencil Dick?
She also doesn't seem to mind that the mayor's daughter is just fucking dead on the chief's desk. Doesn't even question it. That's the mayor's daughter. I was told to the captain that.
What heck they is? Oh, right. Doesn't he just start talking about taxidermy for no reason after that?
With taxidermy use, I'm on the.
What? No longer. Wake up, girl. Red flags.
Minuscule compared to others. The fact is that she's nearly dead-ass peak with how well she was written back in 1998. That's here for sure.
Not with her situational awareness being like a deer in headlights. And constantly losing a little girl in a zombie apocalypse is Lori Grimes level parenting.
Sorry, Don, I'm with Joe on this one. I A tier for sure.
Yeah?
You guys are fucking idiots, but whatever. A tier is still a W for me either way.
Good. Since we were talking about her, what about Sherry Bergen?
Yes, Joe, tell us, what does her hair smell like?
Fuck off, you fat cheese roll. But I will say that she was a little badass in 1998. The girl was running around zombies trying to find her daddy. How she even made it to the police station and survived is truly a feat of strength.
Yeah, she managed to elude Mr. X, even when it was specifically ordered to find the G sample hiding in her pendant.
The sample's inside.
Here, we barely control her, and you can't really praise her survivability when she's wearing all that plot armor. There was no way she was going to die.
She gets infected with the Golgotha parasite. That was fucking horrific.
She wasn't the only one, though, Creepy Joe. Ben, the reporter, was infected, too, and it ripped right through him in minutes. What? Sherry gets it, and she survives hours later.
That's true, but again, she has all that plot armor, so she was never really in any danger. They would never kill a kid, no matter how gory the game is. So I have to agree with Donnie. C tier is a good spot for her.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah, I bet she does, Creepy.
Guys, let's go. Ada Wong.
Oh, man, Ada Wong in 1998 was such a fucking fox. Not to mention that she felt like such a believable character to me. Like Clarence is also looking for something.
Right, but we know that she was a spy looking for the G virus.
Nothing gets past you, Sleepy Joe. But hold your horses and let me finish. Yes, now we know she was a spy, but playing it for the first time and only having known her from the documents mentioning her in the OG game, it was plausible that she was just looking for a loved one.
That's true. It isn't even until she bumps into it that much later that it's revealed she had ulterior motives. However, she still looks remorseful that her boyfriend died.
I just found out. John said, what? Never mind.
And she actually cares for Liam.
She wouldn't shoot him to complete her mission and then falling to her death in one ending.
Wait.
Or just straight up shooting Mr. X right in the fucking face to save him.
I remember her having a mean right hook too, right?
Great point. So where do you put her?
As badass as she was, she isn't at her full potential yet, so B tier.
I'm the same. You have to recognize her plot armor too, because how the fuck did she survive either falling to her feet or having her spine shattered?
Holy shit, you fucking killer him!
That's fair. B tier then. Okay, next is Chief Brian Irons.
This creepazoid felt more like an obstacle than an actual main villain. I understand that he's lost his mind because he feels betrayed by Umbrella and everyone's dying around him. But he's only in 2 scenes, one of which is his death.
He's a suspected serial killer, though, not to mention that he uses the zombie outbreak as an advantage to start killing off his own officers.
But that's only mentioned through the documents you find. I see where Bill is coming from with this. Perhaps if there was a section in the game where he was hunting you as well, possibly becoming another one of his victims. Having a human villain along with the 2 bioweapons chasing you would have been nice.
A missed opportunity for sure.
His voice lines and delivery were amazing. However, that's not enough to rank him any higher. Any objections to C tier?
No, go for it.
Done. How about Mr. X?
Mr. X was given to the OG pursuer. This dude made me ground my pants each time he collated his ass to a wall. Each and every single time. Sometimes even running out of the room didn't help because he just smashed through to the next one.
It was definitely more tense with him constantly popping up. Plus, he'd give you sweet shit if you were able to down him. I think he's good enough for A tier with the others.
I agree.
I don't.
What?
What, you think S tier instead?
No, he's at least B.
How?
I keep telling you, Barry, he's brain dead.
Listen, Mr. X is an intimidating villain, of course, but if you had a good amount of ammo, you could just take him out each time he showed up. He was super slow and easy to dodge, which took the terror out of most of his encounters.
His super tyrant form was much faster and powerful.
Yes, but it only shows up once at the very end, and that's it. If you lasted long enough for Ada to toss you the rocket launcher, which isn't hard to do at all, then you dusted him easy. That's enough to have him in B tier, maybe even high B at that, but not higher.
I don't like it.
You know, it's fine, but for the sake of time, I'll put it in there so we can move on. So let's talk about William Birkin.
Oh man, this dude's the big boss of the game. I love how the creators made the tragedy get worse and worse.
For real, Donnie. Whereas Mr. X would lumber towards you every time you showed up, when Birkin was on screen, he transformed into something worse each and every time, making his encounter different. Come to think of it, he's the forerunner for all the bosses that mutate and transform multiple times in future games. Looking at you, Simmons.
I definitely recall that he couldn't just back up and shoot as much while fighting Birkin. He'd jump on top of things and cut you off in multiple engagements, making him a much harder boss fight. Impressive programming for 1998.
Yeah, but the design wasn't. I always felt like they just threw things together with each transformation, but those graphics aged like mayonnaise.
You're really going to make it aging jump, old man? Come on, that's too easy, even for me.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Donnie. You ain't aging like wine over there. Regardless, his encounters are much harder to deal with, especially with those tank controls, and you really had to watch where you moved. He wasn't boring, so A tier for me.
Sure.
Okay, let's just rank the side characters real quick and move on to the next one. Robert Gendo.
What are you doing? Tragic character that for some reason becomes a creepy horn dog when dealing with Claire.
What's so on?
I got those together. Are they trying to do something wrong? The entire city was infested with zombies. You're safe in here.
It's like looking looking into a mirror, huh, Donnie?
I'm a gentleman, Freaky Joe. I know how to talk to women.
I always found it stupid how this man, who has been surviving since day one of the outbreak, manages to fuck it all up by standing next to his giant ass glass window.
Real talk is Jeff always wanted me for some reason, getting gang banged by zombies. D tier.
No arguments.
Freaky Kendo gets the D, got him. Next up is Annette Birkin.
She was more of an exposition to the G virus and what happened to her husband.
As a result of this virus-induced transmutation, prior memories he had as a human now.
But still is important for plot purposes in exposing Ada to Leon and explaining what happened to William. C tier?
Low C.
Agreed.
Okay, let's finish with Marlon Brad.
Easy. B tier.
What?
No. What? How can you say that? Mark is the man. He even has a little joke when you first see him.
Sorry, but it looks like your party. That's me dressing.
Come on, Joe. He's just like Kendo, and not as stupid.
And we don't even see him get bit.
But we do get to see him change. That's pretty dope.
Not guilty.
I agree. D tier.
Whatever.
You can't win them all, Joey.
Neither can you, fat boy. That's why I'm in office.
Shut up, guys, and let's move on to Resident Evil 3, Nemesis. But before we start, I just want to give mad props to the voice of Dario Rosso, the guy in the warehouse with Jill.
What? What do you think you're talking about? I just lost my daughter out there. How dare you tell me to go back outside?
That would be Tony Rosado. Rest in peace.
He also voiced Nemesis himself as well.
And Luigi from the cartoon.
That's Mama Luigi to you, Mario.
He was amazing. You can actually hear the anxiety and fear in this dude's voice.
To get out of here.
I'm gonna tell you anything. They're being eaten by one of those undead monsters. Now leave me alone.
Oscar Worthy.
Agreed.
No cat.
Okay, so obviously we'll begin with Jill. And let me start off by saying that even though I don't care for the dodge mechanics and choice system that were implemented in this one, I will say that it does make her character more OP than in the first game.
No shit it does. He was able to dodge attacks long before Leon was doing it. This girl was kicking so much ass that it was no wonder she was able to survive.
She's humble about it too, having no idea how she's still alive.
So let's break it down. She's already a veteran of killing zombies and monsters. Her gameplay feels much smoother than in OG, and thank God her dialogue is better.
She's more ballsy too. A couple times she can just run up and push Nemesis right off a ledge with her own two hands.
She definitely isn't scared of getting her hands dirty. The woman wants to live. That's for damn sure.
Which brings me to the best part. The Raccoon City outbreak has officially happened days before the game starts, which is September 28th.
September 28th. Daylight.
Jill fucking Valentine will then go on to survive everything from zombies to Nemesis to even a fucking nuclear bomb, which hits the city on October 1st. That means that she was able to survive through all that chaos for nearly a week. That's S-tier material right there.
And she even slaps Carlos for good measure.
S tier just for that. And the other things too, of course.
Wait, doesn't Nemesis infect her though?
Yes, but she survives it.
With Carlos's help?
Fact is fact, she still lives. Surviving Nemesis over and over on her own each time is impressive, which is more than what I can say for Brad Vickers.
Yeah, let's just get that chicken-hearted piece of shit out of the way.
Listen, he's coming for us.
We're both gonna die. He really doesn't do anything for the plot other than show that Nemesis is after Star's victims.
He's after Star's members. There's no escape.
The man gets hentai to death, that's for sure.
Ruthless fuck, not gonna lie, but he's only in 2 scenes, and one of which is his death in a cinematic. Plus, I'm just gonna add that he left his other team members to fend for themselves back at the Spencer Mansion.
But he went back.
So what? That doesn't negate the fact that he left his teammates to die.
Not to mention that also, there's a motherfucking helipad on the estate. Brad could have landed there hours before, loaded up with rocket launcher, and went Rambo. Instead, he stayed in the air where he was safe from fucking D-tier.
That's a little harsh. He gives him the rocket launcher at the end to help kill Tyrant.
No, I'm going to side with Barry on this. He doesn't have any gameplay. He leaves his comrades to die.
No! No! No!
Hell, you don't even see him in game unless you do a special Easter egg in Re 2. And that rocket launcher probably wouldn't have needed to give it to them in the first place if he'd have stayed long enough for them to gather their gear from the chopper once they saw how bad the situation was.
They were running from the zombie dogs. They didn't have time to gear up.
No, they were running back to the chopper and had time to stand around. D tier.
Okay, fine. Can we move on?
Of course. Next would be Carlos, who was a great supporting character. His personality alone kept the game from being a depressing slog. He had spunk, and it showed.
Of course, the kid had spunk. He wanted to give it all to Jill throughout the entire game.
Jesus, Joe.
Fucking gross.
The entire city is burning around. There are zombies and monsters everywhere, and this asshole literally interrupts Jill to be flirty with her.
Wait, I have to ask you something.
I don't know. You want to ask me out? All the foxy ladies love my accent. It drives them crazy.
So his priorities are a little screwed? Doesn't matter. Jill has an answer for that.
So he sees a beautiful woman kicking ass and he wants to shoot his shot. Big deal. It's not like it detracts from how awesome of a character he was. In fact, like I said earlier, he made the experience more fun.
He keeps his head in the game and is constantly trying to find a way to escape with Jill, despite the odds against them.
He puts himself in danger just to be a hero.
That hero stuff is harder than it looks.
When it gets too tough for him, he bails on Jill and leaves her to fend for herself against Nemesis,
Can't handle it.
which nearly kills her. According to you guys, that's some Brad Vickers level shit right there.
Jill! Jill! Jill!
Joey, this is ridiculous. The man had a moment of weakness, but he corrected it later, even by throwing himself into more danger for the antidote.
Not to mention he's filled with weird sayings.
Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw?
Classic. He's lit as fuck and deserves to be high B tier. I'd even consider him A rank if he was a more playable character.
That long-haired merc is C tier at best, and I'm being generous. He's a one-shot character that doesn't return in any other games in the franchise and is only memorable by his snarky attitude.
I'm going to side with Don on this, Joe, although you do have a point. He doesn't return, so A tier is where he goes.
This is bullshit.
Take the L, you bleach prune.
Every time we get done with one, you two go at it like an old married couple. Focus. Now let's move on to the big boy himself, Nemesis.
Barry Nemesis was so iconic that they named the fucking game after him, something they haven't done since. He was terrifying as fuck. His entrance definitely set the pace for how this game was going to be.
Absolutely. He was faster and more agile than Mr. X, no lie. Motherfucker would sprint to you like a roided up Terminator. And then dome you if you weren't fast enough. But they still kept the loot system for him whenever you decided to down him. And that loot was not something to sneeze at either.
He was always showing up to wreck your shit, and you could never truly get rid of him no matter how hard you tried.
Sounds like Donnie, doesn't it?
I ain't going anywhere. 2024, baby.
He shoots down a rescue chopper, which now that I think about it, happens a couple times in this franchise. However, that being said, I have to mention the choice.
Too true. This mofo is so fun and memorable that he's easily S tier for me as well.
No joke, I agree with Don.
Say less, S tier. How about Nikolai Zinoviev?
This asshole always felt like he was just someone to throw in there as an evil human presence. As if all the other monsters weren't bad enough, you had this backstabbing piece of shit running around killing his own men for profit.
How about helping out?
Yes, that's good. Thank you, sir. Just looking for you, what is it?
I have no intention of leaving.
Because we're nothing but pawns in all this.
It's not speaking you are.
Terrible piece of shit, yes, but I understand his motive. Guys are taking advantage of a horrible situation and trying to make money off it.
Wow, Donnie likes the Russian asshole. What a surprise.
Jesus, Donnie, did you just say that shit out loud?
Whatever. I'm just saying that when it comes to villain motivations, they couldn't have done worse.
Right in the middle bad guy. He wasn't deranged like Irons or a mastermind like Lester. He was just a merc who wanted more money. Completely uninteresting. C tier at most, but mostly because he at least did things.
I would even put him in D because he only was seen in cutscenes. Even when he dies, it's either by Nemesis off screen or Jill through the choice system.
Fine, you both made your point. C tier.
Good. How about Mikhail Baker? Personally, he wasn't that big a deal to me either, except that he blows himself up to save the others and blasts Nemesis out of the Kraken.
Yeah, normally he'd just be a D character, but that act does save him, so I don't mind ranking him as low C.
Good. All right, guys, we're done with this one. Final thoughts?
Did you guys know that we had the power to just nuke one of our own cities and then get away with it for years to come?
I'm pretty sure that George probably looked into it.
Very funny, guys, so let's move right into Code Veronica.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Based on your setup here, I'm thinking we're going to be doing the main characters last.
You got it.
I don't see a problem with that. So who's first?
Well, that would be Rodrigo, I guess. Come to think of it, there's not really any side characters in this one. Everyone is pretty important.
Is this the motherfucker who captures Claire, lets her out, and then gets eaten by a fucking giant worm later on?
That's him.
What a tool.
He survives the bombing, possibly getting shot, the zombies and explosions, but then gets eaten by a worm. In fact, he even survives that too for a bit. That's hilarious, but I think he's a high D character.
No, he lets Claire out of her cell and even gives her a lockpick to give medicine. If anything, that's here at least an actual tool that helps in the game.
You mean the lockpick, right?
He's got a bunch of C-tier sounds about right.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's get to Alfred Ashford.
All right, that's you in a nutshell.
Careful, Bill, you can talk about this.
He's right, though, Bear. Alfred is cracked, driven insane by not having his sister around. It affects him so hard that he started dressing as her, taking on her entire personality.
A psychopath so involved in a female relative that he takes on her whole persona and attacks. This dude is basically Norman Bates.
You guys are going to get us canceled.
He's not wrong, Barry. Even Claire knew what was up.
First off, it was 2000. A lot of shit was different back then. Secondly, I see your point, but let's stick to the other facts. Only once do you actually ever play against him, and all you do is dodge his rifle shots and run up some stairs. After that, nothing but cinematics and a lot of whining.
I smell a C ranking here. He's a literal plot twist as to who the real villain of the game is.
Again, Norman Bates.
I can't see him as B tier or above simply because he doesn't seem to be of any real threat, so I agree with Donnie. C tier.
Yeah.
All right then, let's do a quick ranking of what seemed like mini bosses. We'll start with Alexander Ashford, or Nosferatu as he's called. This boss seemed like it was going to be a good fight, but then when it happens on that rooftop, it felt like a letdown.
I thought he was going to use that axe and kept him sitting down for some reason. Instead, all you need to do is stand back and then shoot. Dodge his poison, and that's it. Fight over.
I got some Silent Hill 2 vibes walking up the stairs. Wrapped up and in the mist.
Okay then, he ran.
Now, I can still fight against him and he can kill you, so see you bet.
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right, next is the Tyrant T-078. This motherfucker is sort of a huge joke. He seemed like an afterthought, like the developers forgot to bring out some kind of tyrant, so they scrambled to throw us into the game.
He's not as intimidating as the other. Slow as shit and could be down within a few seconds. Grenade launcher.
His second fight on the plane is also just as boring. Shoot and dodge, and then get into the crate.
Hopefully you did enough damage or the fingerless fuck beats it back at you. Don't forget that if you fuck up and die, you have to do that whole door opening sequence again. Goddamn thing is 25 Kraken seconds.
He belongs in mid-season.
Done. Okay, guys, let's get to the board that we're talking about. Wesker.
3 take. Here we go.
Oh, fuck yes.
Keep it in your pants, Donnie Jesus.
Fuck that, I'm gonna let it swing free for my man Wesker. This motherfucker attacks the island with his HFC forces and then just strolls on up to Claire like he was invited. Grabs her by the
Don't you say it.
neck, then flashes his beautiful red eyes and bounces. This small cutscene showed that he was a brand new villain, one that shouldn't get fucked with.
I hate to admit it, but you're right. Even later on in Antarctica, he shows off his powers with fighting Chris, thrashing him around and just putting a hardcore beat down on the man. Even when Chris drops a dozen steel girders onto his dome, he gets up, unharmed.
I told you, don't fuck with Wesker.
He gets his ass chased off by Alexia.
Excuse me?
Jesus Christ, Jones.
Oh, I'm sorry. My old age makes me stutter sometimes. I said that Alexia Ashford, in her first form mind, just scared him off like a little bitch.
You geriatric fossil, it was a tactical retreat, but not before he punches her in the fucking face while on fire.
A punch that was completely ineffective. In the moment he sees Chris, he just runs for the door. The entire reason he attacked the complex and went on to the island to the south was to snatch this bitch. But the moment he hits a little opposition, it's too tough, and he bounces.
This is so stupid. He's motherfucking Wesker.
Which makes it even more sick.
Okay, guys, calm down. It's possible that he saw an opportunity to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Use Chris to weaken Alexia and hope that he gets killed along the way. He is the mastermind, after all.
Taking advantage of the situation for his own gain is what a true tactician does.
Getting some real January 6 vibes from you.
Shut the fuck up.
Focus, guys. Let's wrap this up. We get an awesome display of his power when fighting with Chris.
Fighting with, more like obliterating. Chris was basically being thrown around like a rag doll for 5 minutes straight.
It's just too bad he's only in cutscene. Once he shows up in Antarctica, you can put the controller down and sit back like this with Metal Gear Solid 4.
No, fuck you. I won't let you use that against him. He's a recurring villain that gets more powerful with each game. He threw hands at Alexia rather than blast her, and even thrashed his Chris around before surviving what looks like at least a ton of steel being dropped onto him. This is a dead-ass high A-rank villain right here.
Fuck that. Low-B tier. He still runs off, and rather than kill Chris, which he despises.
I despise Chris.
He'd rather show off his new powers than kill him. Endlessly talking. Congratulations, he's now a comic book villain.
Okay, guys, I need to step in. We've talked about this way too long. Both of you are right. He's the only villain to come back to the franchise, and he is more powerful, making all his scenes awesome to watch. Also, his voice acting is much better now, thank Christ.
You guys are idiots.
However, he does run away twice. Even in the end, he didn't seal the deal with Chris. And the moment Fire got involved once more, he leaves. That's high rank for sure.
Fuck that shit. A-tier or I'm dipping.
What a fat baby.
Jesus, God.
I see what you did there.
This bitch ass throwing blood around to light you on fire and then vomiting on you if you got too close was annoying as fuck. Made everything claustrophobic and hard to maneuver.
At least it wasn't boring like the other bosses. You actually have to think about your moves. You can't just rush around and stand still.
He's just pissy that you spanked Wesker.
You cannot tell me that this gray-scaled swamp thing looking motherfucker with liberal anime hair is more powerful than Wesker. Like what the actual fuck?
You're gonna squirt some more tears, Warren, bitch?
Stop being a biased little baby gun. Compared to all the other bosses in this game, it's a good thing she was tough. Her second form was worse with all the fucking little bugs and shit, and then boom, she flies.
And then dies with one shot from the pulse rifle.
I hate to admit it, but he's got a point with that one. I mean, the gun has unlimited ammo, so maybe hitting her a few times would have been fine.
And then in the end, Wesker didn't even need her DNA.
It turns out that Alexia's woman wasn't much of anything.
Useless. Fucking C tier.
No fucking way, Johnny.
Trash.
She was still a force to be reckoned with.
Trash.
Her virus was one of the most powerful in the franchise, and Wesker still wanted it. He attacked the entire complex for it. B tier.
Fucking garbage, Ray.
Definitely B tier, incredibly memorable, and honestly, it pisses Johnny off, so it stays.
Fuck you both, you lipstick motherfuckers.
Suck it up, big guy. Next is Chris Redfield, looking much sharper than last time.
He's still wearing a Stars outfit, even though Raccoon City was destroyed months back. Never forget it, am I right?
Yeah. Busted has 8 inventory slots now, thank God. He can finally carry more items like all the cans of whoop ass he can hold to the Western. Which failed terribly.
Just a side note, but I love how dead my daylight kept Wester losing his glasses when getting punched in the face from this scene back in 2000. That kind of shit just tickles me.
Can we go one list without you simping for DVD?
Yeah, it's great, dude.
Whatever, I like it. Back to Chris. He's much more of a badass in this one. I mean, there's the regular stuff like killing zombies and monsters, but then there's the fact he kills Alexia in all 3 of her forms, and he's still just a regular dude.
You gotta admire his balls. Dear God, when he faces off with Wesker, he talks about how he's going to avenge his comrades and then tries to start shit with a fight. Not very effective, to say the least.
Then he spends the next 5 minutes getting his ass beat like a red-headed stepchild, before finally getting lucky with the girders.
Not to ride on his dick harder than you two seem to be doing, but don't forget that Western's punches are hard enough to break through solid concrete. So the fact that Chris is able to survive at all is nothing short of a miracle.
He's wearing body armor.
More like bottom.
True.
I would have been pretty badass. This was a huge improvement. 8 tier.
I agree, solid A.
Same. I personally think he peaked here, but that's just me.
We'll get there. Okay, let's get to Steve Burnside.
Fuck yeah, this stupid piece of shit. He's not that bad. Come on.
Donnie, listen.
Fuck you, Joe.
I'm gonna rip into this emo and he's not gonna enjoy it.
Sinister Joe, you're the weird.
Living up to the name, eh, Creepy Joe?
Look, this fucking idiot has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. The way he treats Claire is some of the cringiest shit I've ever seen. First, he treats her like a dog.
I don't want to fall with you.
Then he boasts how he's come to rescue her.
Don't worry, Kraken. Your knight with shiny armor is here.
Not to mention that he actually has the balls to tell her not to rely on her own brother.
You'll come. If you send a fishing boy, you should rely on others. I know.
His father made him think this way. The master put his entire family in danger, and even though Steve knew this, he still loved him until the end.
You mean this?
Father!
We're not doing that again, Joe.
Fair enough.
I can't help but agree with you. However, you only play as him for a total of 2 rooms where all he does is kill like 6 zombies. This alone is hard to believe, seeing as how he can't get a stationary target 3 feet in front of him.
We haven't even touched on the fact that he's incredibly sleepy with Claire.
I thought you had no problem with that, Biggie Joe. At least he's trying to rub up against someone his own age.
Low-hanging fruit, Donnie. This horny motherfucker immediately kindles it up in their third seat.
I said I was sorry.
Staring at her for so long that he nearly gets the feel.
Steve, watch out!
Or how about the time when he actually tries to kiss her while she slept?
I completely forgot about that part. Modern feminism can rip this kid up.
They wouldn't have him because he died, remember? His body gets turned into a Shrek-like monster with an axe before having arguably one of the saddest deaths in the series.
Debatable. It still doesn't exempt him from everything else. Just because he had an interesting end doesn't mean that he wasn't worse for 99% of the screen time. C-rank, easily.
Sorry, Johnny. He's a poorly written one-off character.
It doesn't matter what you say, he's still a rank in my heart. It wasn't his fault that he was forced there, but he adapted to survive the best he could and overcame his distrust of people.
C2.
Look, I get both sides of this, and to be fair, he did have some of the money, so I'm putting him in both teams.
Bullshit, I'll take it.
His reasonable fucking to move on.
Now you're surprising, Foster.
Beat my ass, you did it.
Next is Claire Redfield herself, and honestly, I feel that she's pretty much the same in this as she was in 1998.
There's no kid for her to take care of.
Or lose for that matter.
And she even goes back to give Rodrigo the medicine. She's got Joe.
You must be one of those lower level officers who carry the plan of a plan for a case like this one.
Huh? And of course,
Also, we never talked about the fact that she broke into an umbrella facility in the first place on her own. Somehow outran a helicopter's machine gun. And then did that sick move with blowing up what looks like 20 guys.
The move that was later copied shamelessly of that shitty movie.
Disgusting. Don't mention that again, please.
I was so busy when I saw that.
Yeah, no doubt. Anyways, Claire's pretty much S tier at this point. No bad qualities, improved gameplay through and through. Objections?
Nope,
None.
And we're done with Code Veronica.
Damn, that took forever.
Yeah, we got a little sidetracked a few times back there, but I'm glad that we're about a third of the way finished. So let's go ahead and take a quick break before we continue.
no argument from me. I need to check with my parole officer anyway.
And I could use a quick nap. See you guys in a bit.
New oatmeal crisp protein with 15 grams of protein with milk.
Your managing skill is disappearing. Not because of layoffs, but because coordination.
All in all, it's a solid issue.
You're watching Zombie Chronicles.
There it is.
Jesus, man, that took forever. Was it that big of a shit?
Really? The biggest you've ever seen, probably in the entire world.
Well, this is already off the track, so can we get on to the next one, please?
And I'm guessing the next one is Resident Evil 0?
It sure fucking is. This game has such a small cast, though, so let's just do the quick ones first and move on.
Are we really going to rank the street bosses?
God's spoken. They are literally just buttons that make no sense why they're there.
You know, I thought about it, but now it's a waste of time, so let's rank Dr. Marcus.
Well, he could definitely sing. Probably can hit that high note and take on me. Honestly, he's too fucking weird.
I'm with you right there, Donnie. Like, why is he dressed like that? What's the significance of that medallion around his neck? Why does singing attract the leeches? Does he think he's in a Final Fantasy game?
Why does the older version look exactly like you, Joe?
Hey, fuck you.
I get your points. Dr. Marcus was only interesting when it came to his background with Umbrella and creating the progenitor strains. Everything else was just so random, especially when he ends up transforming into that Queen Leech.
So we should probably rank the Queen Leech separate from Marcus, since it seems they are both different beings.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, look at him while he's mutating. He obviously has no control over what's going on with him, and he looks shocked that it's even happening. Marcus is just a vessel for the Queen, and she finally takes full control over his body again.
Yeah, he explains that while talking to me.
The desire inside of my queen.
Okay then, so what about Marcus's ranking?
Unfortunately, the background door can't keep this trash out of D tier for me.
I agree. Done. And the Queen bitch herself?
The boss fight is slightly interesting, but only because you can fight her while the AI partner goes to open the room. But honestly, I would have liked the monster that fills the room with its flesh is what we ended up with. Very anticlimactic.
And sunlight was its main weakness. Lame as shit. What was it going to do? Only kill things during the night? There was no way that would work.
That's some D tier shit right there.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get on with the Tyrant prototype. And to be honest, even though Rebecca handles herself well against it, to me, it always felt just like T-78. Like, they forgot to put in a Tyrant, so they had one literally pop out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, this one doesn't even come out of the tube or anything.
But at least it wasn't lumbering and slow like 78. This motherfucker pounces on you like a fucking lion.
Yeah. Which was bullshit, since the only times you fight it was in a small, cramped space.
I got a question. The second time you fight it, when it just comes out of the water, is it the same one, or is that another discarded prototype?
Who fucking knows? Like Barry said, these things just feel like afterthoughts. And since we don't even get the courtesy of having them come out of a cryo tube, I'm just going to rank them C tier.
Wait. Okay then, Billy Cohen.
Billy's a decent character. I mean, he ain't no Leon, but he still holds up his own. Plus, his love of music can't be understated.
He's solid, has an interesting backstory, and never betrays Tinker. I also remember a while back that some people were thinking he was Nemesis because of the way he says stars.
You're the stars.
Stupid theory.
I enjoyed his camaraderie with Rebecca, and his backstory really makes him sympathetic. Yet still leaves it a little open-ended enough to make you think that maybe he's innocent, or maybe he isn't.
Doesn't matter anymore. Now it's been. This is now. What's that? Sitting with the judge.
Like everyone else, I hope they find a way to bring him back. There really isn't anything bad about it, except that he can't mix herbs for some fucking reason.
Oh my God, that was the worst decision. I think Billy Cohen is the only protagonist in Resident Evil who can't mix herbs.
Like I said, solid. High B.
Yep. Okay, before we rank Rebecca and transition into the remake, any last thoughts?
Yeah, we never talked about this shitty inventory system last time.
Oh dear sweet Jesus, you're right. Along with having the worst herb mixing, they also found a way to cock up the inventory. No fucking crate. Are you for fucking real?
No shit. But not only that, two-handed weapons for 2 inventory slots. What the actual zombie fuck, Capcom? Garbage.
Definitely the worst inventory in the series, no doubt.
Agreed. Well, that's 5.
Alright, so let's get to it. The best girl with Rebecca Chambers.
Wow, I can already hear the synth falling its way out of your bear.
Since she's in both games back to back, we'll just rank her all together right now. That way it'll save time.
Barry, come on. We already talked about this before. He's constantly needing to be saved, whether it be completion or falling, or even that giant fucking centipede. She's got no prior experience, and it shows. Did you ever notice that whenever she aims, she's slower than Billy?
She doesn't come with a lockpick either, but instead that mixing kit. That meant that only she can mix herbs, which we just expressed as highly annoying and sucked ass.
She's incredibly lucky to have survived, but I feel that a lot of that is because of Billy. Face it, Barry, this little girl wouldn't have made it if he wasn't around.
Flawed reasoning, Donnie. That can be said about most everyone in this franchise. At one point or another, the protagonist is being saved by the supporting character.
Don't call me little girl.
So basically what you guys are bitching about is her gameplay, which has some valid points. Now let's talk about her character.
Here we go, strap in.
She's a prodigy graduating university at age 18, so she's the youngest star member. When she finds the train, she doesn't hesitate to get onto it by herself. She had to kill her friend and comrade after seeing him turn into a zombie. She survives the train's derailment as well as the entire research facility. She's the first person to come across a tyrant as well as defeat it by herself. She also lied about Billy being dead, saving his life and his freedom.
Officially, it's a good time instead.
Yeah, just a zombie. And the best fact is that she is the only STARS member to do all that, and then do it again for the very next day.
My God, man.
Yeah, you've made a massive point, we get it.
You definitely have a massive point from Rebecca. Get fucked.
Fuck the Golden. While everyone on Alpha Team are asleep in their cozy beds, Rebecca is fighting for her life. And yes, she does lack the experience. Everyone else in the franchise has either been in the military or had proper training prior to the outbreak, except her. And she still kicked ass through all of it.
Okay, she's built as fucking zero, but let's see how she's changed in the remake, because it's almost like they completely nerfed her.
It certainly feels that way now that the commie is back in the saddle with this one, but at least he picked how she's introduced.
Chris Redfield, Alpha Team.
She still has her gun and ditched the bug spray. Plus, he's able to heal all your wounds, not just some of them, like in the OT.
Fuck that. She still needs to be rescued from the hunter, because her gun is gone once more, and there's even a new scene where she begins to cry on Chris's shoulder. You can just tell that Shinji Mikami hated this girl, and it almost feels like he was purposefully demeaning her.
Back up. The Hunter scene is just a copy-paste from the OG, so don't blame Shinji about reusing it for the remake. What you can blame him for is making her more human in this one.
Well, that didn't take him long to get right back into it.
God damn it.
If you only save Rebecca, she will single-handedly take on numerous hunters.
What?
All right. Clean him up.
Well, if we're going to bring different clips in, then if you save Richard and fight Plan 42, then she's just walking away right outside the door.
Oh, you scared me.
Like, did she not hear Chris fighting for his life 3 feet away?
For 45 minutes, I was out there screaming. I know that if I didn't want to go. Someone don't feel good to me. I'm going to kill. Good point. Hardly. The door was locked from the other side, remember? And as for her crying, it's not a form of weakness. She's emotionally drained.
Are you crying?
It's just tension, asshole. It doesn't mean shit.
You already forgot that she's been through all this the night before and barely got any sleep in between. Plus, she's watched most of her comrades die horribly.
You're right, Bear. She's tough, we know.
She's the toughest. I'll rest my case with this last fact. Remember that she got shot by Winston almost point blank and survived? No move.
Oh, yeah, she does.
I completely forgot about that part.
Not hard to believe you sleepy Joe.
That means that Rebecca Chambers is the only person to ever be shot by Winston Samurai agent.
R.I.P. Enrico, I guess.
She may not have done much in the remake, but combined with everything we've covered in Zero, she's easily S-tiered in fucks.
Fine, please. Check your pants before Michelle notices. Did you drag us in here just to try and convince us of how dope Rebecca is?
It definitely feels that way.
First off, she doesn't get enough love from Capcom. Secondly, no, I promise I really wanted to rank them all.
All right, fine then. Now that your massive point has exploded everywhere, can we continue this ranking, please?
Yeah, no shit. Does Michelle know?
Don't talk about marriage to you, drive the orange deal. How's yours going after that whole Stormy Daniels debacle?
It's all fake and lies. Our marriage is the strongest in the world.
We're getting off track. Let's move on.
Okay then, Resident Evil remake. The biggest improvement with this is that the dialogues were fixed up. Who do you want to start with?
The remake basically made exact copies of Chris and Jill. It's obvious that the change in technology helped with line delivery and acting, but other than certain items and situations, they both are pretty much the same.
I see your point, but let's do some quick pros and cons with them, or I'll relink it tight. Let's start with Chris.
Not much to say, really. He still has the same jokes.
I think we got to the root of that problem.
And doesn't know who Umbrella is, which is still goofy as shit.
There's always the biggest upstairs around here.
But he controls it a bit better, and now he has defensive weapons, too. In fact, his grenade is better than Jill's stun gun, simply because it destroys the head in one go.
You're not going to remark on the senile quote?
Lester, you've become senile.
I don't remember him saying that.
Go take your meds.
Fuck off, bitch. You ain't my nurse.
All right, guys, I'll put him in A rank. Jill will be basically the same, but at least this time she isn't sympathetic to the tyrant.
Actually, I would say she's improved much more. Since they expanded more on Barry being the traitor, they show how Jill is slowly becoming suspicious throughout the...
My only complaint is how it takes their stun gun 2 hits to kill an enemy. And since the grenade blows their heads off, I wanted the taser to at least set them on fire. Other than that, he hates him.
Done. Speaking of Barry, I think he probably had the most rework of his lines. He's not as clumsy, and his subplot is more noticeable with the extra scenes they added, and yet still subtle than it was in the OG.
Plus, the extra changes his mind, regardless of whether Umbrella was blackmailing him or not. He's a dope-ass friend.
Good job.
His most iconic line is Kate. How could they?
You're right.
Not to mention that they replaced his clumsiness with paranoia. Every time Jill approaches him, he's about to brown his pants.
There.
Barry. You're gonna give shit to someone who's on edge inside a monster-infested house.
I live in 124/7 and I'm not scared.
Nice.
Well, you look like a zombie yourself wandering around trying to find Jill.
You spray tan bitch.
Set him up to kind of your fault.
If that's all you got, then you're still at least 8 here.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay, he's approved. Let's get to ranking Winston already.
His motivations are the same as the OG, but thanks to the voice acting, he doesn't sound like old Joe he did during one of his speeches. He's calm and collected, and by the end, you really get that mastermind feel from him.
You're a real heel today, you know that? Anyway, this dude got sinister real quick, but I like how you let him get hit by Lisa. He just fucked off for a while, only to come back later. Bless him.
So he's calm. Well, he couldn't just die. He had to be the plot twist at the end. Not his fault.
He had such a complete makeover that he's basically different now for the better. But without his powers, he's really on the peak here.
Same.
Agreed. Oh, did you guys notice how when he sees Lisa Trevor, he says, his initial reaction is repulsed but disappointed because she's a failed experiment, foreshadowing the plot twist.
My favorite thing is when Chris gets back to the residence and he finds the note about the doorknob that's fixed. It means that Wesker's running around with a screwdriver, sitting there fixing a door.
Getting pissed because the screw isn't going in correctly. What a handyman.
That shit is pretty funny.
Okay, I want to talk about Richard H. He also went through a huge change in the remake.
Fuck yes, he did. You can actually save him with the serum this time, and he'll either help you fight Dawn as Jill, or sadly put you aside as Nessie. Either fucks way he dies, but not like a punk.
Plus you get his awesome shotty after that, too. Beat here.
Can't argue with that. The man died a hero. Okay, let's start up with some bosses real quick.
Wait, what about Enrico?
Enrico doesn't do anything different, so his rank would be the same, only an HD. So let's go to the Crimson Head prototype in the cemetery.
See here, he's not that difficult to kill, just like every other Crimson Head.
Wait, that was just a prototype? For the longest time, I honestly thought that it was Jordan Trevor.
No, you find out on a small note that they locked this Crimson Head up in the coffin after it turned and murdered some researchers.
Right, but I just initially thought that after Jordan died, they took his body and did experiments on it while it zombified, and then it turned into the Crimson Head. I mean, it would make more sense that the creator of all these traps not only died inside one of the traps he made, but also became a trap himself, right?
It does make sense, but why would he go out like that?
Irony, especially because of everything he put his wife and kid through. He's basically the same as Steve's dad.
Father, you just can't let that shit go, can you?
No, because it pissed his cross.
Okay, let's see here. You good with that, Joey?
Yeah, let's keep going.
No problem. Plan 42.
It's got more features to fight against in the remake, with acid tentacles and pods. But you can still just move around a bit and hit it until it dies. No real strategy.
Plus, it's a fucking plant. Like, what the fuck is this shit that happening?
D-tier then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. I'm not going to put Neptune or Black Tiger on here because one, you can skip the spider entirely, and the other, you don't have to fight the shark at all. Instead, you just do a puzzle with the drinking system.
Puzzles can be hard to show, so we may rank the machine to S tier.
Go fuck yourself, you piece of shit. The only thing that's puzzling is how you got into office in the first place.
I would say the same fucking thing, you fucking Grey Walker.
Pay attention, you assholes, and let's get to the last good ones. Let's start with Yawn.
Fucking awesome. Everyone remembers the big-ass snake. He can poison you and everything. He even fucks up Richard twice. It's beautiful.
Yeah, he's the more engaging boss than the last two. But his second fight is a cakewalk by just chasing his tail. So I say he's a solid C tier.
I'm good with that.
Cool. Next will be Lisa Trevor. Good Lord, this still story is sad as fuck.
Tortured and experimented on for over 30 years, she eventually becomes an immortal abomination that can't be killed. It creates tension whenever she shows up, however she can be easily dodged.
Are you reading that straight from the game manual or something?
No, just the opening paragraph on Nancy Pelosi's wiki page.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, as tragic a character that she is, you don't really need to fire a single shot at her. She's more of an obstacle than a boss.
Still, she has the ability to kill off Barry and you too if you're not careful with that on the food.
She does rip off her mother's face and wears it, which then begs the question of who put her mom in that coffin. Were there scientists who had an entire altar with chains and stones just made for her?
Listen, as compelling as that is, let's just rank her and move on.
I gotta agree with Jill on this. She's mostly a C tier because she's more of an obstacle.
Pretty much.
Okay, lastly is the big boy, Tyler.
Another iconic boss. This motherfucker immediately stabs Wesker through the chest and just flops him aside like Downey does to his old staff member.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to be used like a puppet like you.
Shut up, guys. Stay on track.
Right. He's able to break through a solid concrete floor, let alone take on three shards and
Claire's wife is very good.
rocket launcher to kill him. And even then, he's still fast enough to deflect the missile away. You know who else has that type of reaction speed? Motherfucking...
He's a very good end boss. Not too hard, not too easy. And if you have other teammates who want to gain his aggro away from him, or he will kill them at the last moment. That's a pretty good B-tier boss.
No argument.
Okay, D-tier it is. And we're done with the remake. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, ever notice how at the end of the game, it's as if Wesker himself is ranking you?
Yes. Did a fine job.
Which would make sense, since the entire game is based on him testing the stars against the BOWs.
I see what you mean. Almost as if he's standing on the hill outside the mansion, watching the helicopter fly off to the tiny spurs.
He does still consider Chris one of his own in Code Veronica, months after the mansion incident.
Like this, man.
This theory holds water.
So we starting up the goat?
Damn fucking straight. Resident Evil fucking fool.
About fucking time.
This is going to be long, isn't it?
Oh, right. You were the whole reason why this wasn't an S rank. I forgot.
Yeah, because it's a fucking mid-game, and I'll fight anyone who wants to go.
You shriveled up, kid.
Guys, this isn't about the game, but the characters. Joe, you've already said your piece on it, so move on. Dog, you and I know what he's like on this, but just ignore him so we can get this done.
Fine.
Whatever. Let's get the best one out of the way first. Leon Kennedy.
Ah, fucking boy. Motherfucking heads here. Why are we even talking about this?
He's people that's not gonna lie. Martial arts, secrecy, and being all around ladies, man. You may not like it, man. A true action hero.
Joe fucking Cat, going from a rooftop to a Secret Service agent assigned by the president himself. He's truly the best protagonist this series has had. The man can do fucking anything.
Jesus, you Sims. Most of the time he's doing what QuickTime Event makes him do. All the dodging, fighting, and reactions are based on them. Not so much Leon as a character.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, Joe. Explain yourself, or I'm going to call Jill to do a wellness check on you.
Fine. You remember the boulders that Leon has to run from?
Of course, he's out running fucking boulders downhill fucking twice and is still able to dodge them. That's some Indiana Jones shit right there.
See? You think it's lit because Leon does it, even though it's a fucking QuickTime event to make you think he's super badass. However, you've already forgotten that in the first Resident Evil, both Jill and Chris did the same thing twice as well. But there's no QTEs. Instead, the player has to quickly guide them away. Yet when they do it, no praise. It's not even a footnote.
Oh, yeah, they do that.
Exactly. The QTEs that Leon does are supposed to be super cool, yet when others do the same thing in previous entries, we never even notice.
Leon is a highly trained individual who's capable to do these stunts, whereas the others seem to look like they stumble around. The true difference between Leon and everyone else is the difference between skill and luck. Leon has the skill to constantly kick ass. Ada herself even says it in the game.
And he's improved since then.
Beautifully said.
Apparently, he doesn't have enough skill to move and shoot. And where are the QTEs that could save him from being chopped by a simple Ganassi?
Just nitpicking now, but this shit.
He's A-level best.
What?
No fucking way. I will concede that the QuickTime events do clutter up his gameplay, but I will not consent to him being that low. His new movements are much better than the tank controls we've had to endure, and he's survived the Raccoon City incident. He's witty and has great one-liners. He's a fucking boss, end of story.
Plus, you idiot, you've already used your whining card the last time we were here and knocked the entire game down to A. He's S here, and that's it. Fucking deal with it.
Fine. Okay, moving on. Jesus, this one. Ashley Graham.
Fine!
Jesus, this girl was annoying.
Jojo, constantly screaming. Running away to get captured here.
She has a separate health bar that you have to maintain along with your own.
She wouldn't let you look up the skirt.
Perfect. Wait, what?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Forget I said that.
No, not that.
Freaky Joe, back at it again, ladies and gentlemen.
What I meant to say was that she couldn't get hurt or you fail the game.
Of course.
Sure you did.
Like I said before, she's just a glorified escort quest. She doesn't do anything but get captured, and that's about it.
You get to play as her, which was pretty tense, probably the most in the game since she can die in basically one hit. Plus, she gets to kill some enemies by heating some lanterns at them.
But you have to complete the worst puzzle in the entire series, the sliding puzzle. With all the other puzzles in the franchise, as long as you know what the answer is, then you're good to go. But this one long slide and everything's fussed, and you can't reset it. I would put her in D tier if I could on that alone.
That's not even her fault.
Sounds like you just need to get good at puzzles, old codger.
Whatever, C tier.
Oh yeah, definitely C tier.
Same.
All right, let's take it on.
Long time no see.
Dope as fuck. Girl goes full-on secret operative in this one, and she doesn't give a fuck. She's the very definition of calm, cool, and collected.
Even I have to admit that she's much better in this than back in RE2. But this time she gets to save Leon a couple times.
Agreed. Honestly, there's really nothing bad about her in this one. And even Sally Cahill reprises her role from 1998. She's an all-around badass. She kills two Donatos with her fucking grapple gun, puts an actual end to Krauser.
That's a large thing you have there.
and is still able to complete her mission seemingly without breaking a sweat.
I would also like to add that when Leon attacks her, she fights him off expertly, but then explains that they need to get the parasite out of it. She's completely understanding as to what's going on with him. She cares.
If they added that scene today, she'd say something like, do that again and I'll kill you.
Any arguments if I put her into S rank?
Fuck no, go for it.
I agree, she deserves it. Easy.
Done. Okay, let's move on to Luis.
Jesus, another side character who thinks he's so suave.
Geez, you're going to be like this the whole time, huh?
Him and Carlos are basically the exact same.
All the boxing ladies love my accent. It drives them crazy. Okay, we skip the foreplay. It's the love, baby.
That's kind of racist, Joe. And that's me saying that.
There's nothing wrong with Luis. What the fuck, Joe?
He's trying to save Leon and Ashley from the parasites inside him. Then he just drops the fucking medicine while he's running away.
I must have dropped you when I was running away from them.
He had one fucking job and the normie bitch just fumbles it. What a failure.
That cutscene was mainly to show that he cares and that he wants to make things right.
Then don't fucking drop the medicine, Louis.
He helps keep them alive in the house seat. You know that you can get that?
I'm with Donnie on this. There's no reason to think otherwise. You're just taking the Democrat mascot too literal and being a stubborn ass at this point.
Fine. You're right. He's not bad at all. It just irritates me whenever I see him dropping shit. First the medicine, then the stairs. Motherfucker has motor shooters, I swear.
Are you being fucking serious?
No, we're moving on. He goes into B tier, and that's that. Next is the final NPC before the bosses, the motherfucking merchant.
The fucking goat.
There's nothing bad about this guy. In fact, he's the sole reason why Leon survived.
Thank you. He's an obvious high A tier. I feel to admire, but he's not playable. A wise choice, mate.
A fair point. A on the chart. That's in my heart.
No doubt.
Come back, baby, time.
Nice and easy, just the way Donnie's wife is.
What the fuck did you just say?
You heard me. No fucking way you had to work hard for that.
You wouldn't know what working hard is, you fucking socialist.
Guys, off track. Let's keep going.
Right, next for some bosses. Delano.
A much slower turret boss, really. All you do is make sure you don't hit the floating debris and throw a harpoon at the big lizard. He's interesting towards the world build. That's about it.
I gotta agree with Joe here. Other than him nearly taking Leon down into the lake with him when he dies, there's nothing really here. Seem like
Hard enough to run your ass out of.
Focus, guys. These bastards were taught by a Agree, especially in the bowels of the castle. Giving one of them a lava bath is the best stuff. Real talk, I must have wasted an hour trying to get them both to fall in at the same time. No joke.
you idiot bear, but I do wonder why one of them looks like Leon interrupts their BDSM session.
They are definitely iconic, and I would like to see one last one on the island, but overall I think they're also sincere. Even if they're huge, you can still kill them fairly easy.
I can live with that.
Okay, let's get down to the chief himself, the tourist Benton's. That beach.
This guy actually felt intimidating, no joke, he was fast. Bullets did jack shit to him, not to mention he could apparently hulk out on some iron bars with ease.
My only gripe is that he doesn't get on the radio to taunt Leon. It would have been pretty dope to hear him talk a little more. Maybe try to convince Leon to join his people.
Yeah, I can see that happening. He would have definitely given him more lines, because I think the only ones he speaks are in that house. His fight was a bit two-phaser, too.
Yeah, that's like the centipede boss, Capcom.
B-tier seems right for him.
Yeah, I'd say the same.
Yeah? All right, Verdugo is on next.
This one was a bit freaky. He's fast and incredibly intelligent, able to sneak up on you and slice you up if you're not careful.
Intelligent enough to pick a fight inside the only place in the entire castle that houses its one weakness.
This fucking guy.
It's a tense fight for the first 30 seconds until you memorize the QTEs and have a magnet for when he preaches. See tears.
You can't be serious. Big tear at the least.
I'm inclined to agree with Joe on the rank, Donnie.
This is bullshit. He's scary to fight. You have to be alert when he ambushes you.
He's basically like Lisa Trevor under the QTEs. He's a literal obstacle in the way of the elevator. That's it.
Fuck you both, you lunatic motherfuckers.
Take the elevator and keep stepping. Next up is Steve.
Oh, hey dear, easy. Even I have to admit that.
Definitely, his banter with Leon is really the golden part of this game. Every cutscene is a work of art, this old little fucker. Jesus, that's right. Go moisturize your face, you little bastard.
Absolutely. His wit is on par with Leon's beat for beat. It's great how he calls it just a test figure sometimes.
This little guy is equivalent to a Bond villain. He has the two hulking bodyguards, the trapdoor. And even the giant statue that for some reason ends up chasing you.
All of that just shows how dedicated he is to fulfilling his master's wishes. Even mutating with the project himself, which makes it even sadder to know that Sadler is really just using him.
Not to be Joe here, but I have to say that his boss fight is kind of lackluster. Just stand in the corner, blast the tentacle, and fire in the face when it opens up. But honestly, not that bad of a fight. Still better than Alexis.
He's an A tier, no question. Now let's move on to the fucking thing that Sadler sits on Leon. B3.
Steve, this thing.
Not gonna lie. This thing not only felt like it came out of nowhere as a last-ditch effort to add another boss, but the environment is so random.
I see what you're talking about. Like, what the fuck is Tracy doing? What purpose do they call? The whole time you're in there, you have to use quick time events to dodge.
Sure, but at least when you get out, you can fight it properly.
That's the only saving grace there. All in all, this boss was probably another C tier.
No, come on, it's better than Verdugo at least. You get a proper fight at the end. Both tier the most.
Fine, this one ain't worth the effort to argue. B tier.
I hate it people for sake of time shit.
Cool, let's move on to Kraken.
Okay, this dude was at least entertaining to fight, but his intro was annoying as fuck. It was just a huge quick time event clusterfuck. As if the guy who created the QTE scene was finally allowed off the leash for one scene. And this was it. Not to mention that one fuck up and he kills Leon and you have to start all over again.
Again, Sleepy Joe, that's just you having terrible reaction time.
I swear to God, if you bring up that staircase again,
Wasn't gonna. But I was gonna mention you face planted at the Air Force Academy.
fuck you, you waddling shit, I got sandbags.
Guys, please back to Kraken. His back and forth with Leon about their past and asking deep questions was nice to see. Almost like there was a mutual respect between them.
I get that we're supposed to feel a little bad about Krauser turning on Leon, but since we've never seen him before this moment, I kind of don't give a shit about him.
He's a badass, knife-wielding ex-commando. How can you not like this guy?
He thought he was going to gain Sadler's trust that easily. It's already been established that Sadler hates Americans. And then he wonders why he's untrusted. He fucking name dropped like a clown. And he utters umbrella for some fucking reason. We almost had an entire Resident Evil game without umbrella being mentioned.
Jesus, he already forgot the first 30 seconds of the game.
And then this asshole has to make it seem like they're coming back.
Around.
He fucking monologued.
You've got me monologuing.
He's basic as fuck. See here along with the rest.
No fucking way you're biased, bitch. He broke up the monotony of villagers and stupid-looking monsters. Plus, in the end, it's a broken man who loses his arm seeking revenge against his country.
I agree with Donnie. He's better than a bloated up monster who got to kill. You actually have to move around and be alert. You can even kill him with a knife. He's fast and agile, and at least he has a little bit of backstory to go along with Leon, as well as the answer to how Ashley was kidnapped in the first place. So he goes into high beat.
For real. Poor kid. Oh, little baby Joe is cranky to get his nappy, huh?
Fuck you, you greaseball. Every time you talk, I can hear the puppy rattling around your wrist.
We're almost done, guys. On to Sadler.
Okay, now, Sadler, I can still get behind. He has the same back and forth with Leon that Salazar did. Plus, he controls all the players with his mind. Pretty straightforward, but I can still enjoy it a bit.
Jesus, Joe, you rip on everything in this game, but you're okay with Sadler? Even I have to admit it's just generic. How do you not feel the same way?
I'm siding with Joe, Donnie. He laughs at enough jokes. Sneak dog.
Dog, dog.
Can attack with lightning speed. And has the ability to absorb bullets and eject them out.
His prized asset is Ashley, so instead of just having her on the island far away from Leon, he puts her right at the beginning.
They needed to get her ready for the ritual at the castle. Idiots.
The ritual to let her be a part of their little club? Who gives a shit? There's a crazy American secret agent who can suplex the head off of people right at their front door. Half the time the cult is wasting valuable resources just trying to get her back from Leon.
Shit, it's starting to make sense to me.
Fuck, Donnie, what are you doing? I thought you loved this game.
I do, but when it comes to Sadler, he just doesn't know how to lead. I would know how to lead these idiots. I would be the best at it.
Fuck, of course you think this.
I'm just going to say it again. Why not just let him actually go home?
Because they need more time for the plug to mature, you shriveled cock.
It's not like she lives next door. It'll take more than a day for her to get back home. Also, even if the Americans do an X-ray, I seriously doubt that they have any type of machine that is exactly like the one Luis has in his lab to eradicate. They'd most likely end up killing her and Leon just by removing it. And by that time, she'd be under his control.
Holy fuck, you thought way too hard on this, Frank Joe. I'm not even going to answer that because there are too many variables to make it plausible, especially off-screen in a motherfucking video game.
What a bitch answer.
Look, I just need to open this box up. But one last drag.
What, Don?
If he could just absorb bullets so easily, why not just stay in that form and kill Leon with his quick moves? Seems much easier than transforming into a monster with obvious weak spots to exploit.
I don't know, dude. Look, he's at least 18. He bandits with Leon. Plus, he not only controls everyone infected with the Plaga, but may also be able to control El Gigante and Verdugo. He was also able to manipulate both Salazar and Mendez. And I'm pretty sure Mendez wasn't easy to convince. So, yeah, A tier.
Even though I still think my rant holds water, I'll concede to A tier solely based on his power alone.
Agreed.
Okay, moving on to Resident Evil 5.
Oh, Jesus, here we fucking go.
The starting point of Resident Evil's downfall.
Not to be that guy, but for over a decade, Resident Evil 5 was the best-selling game in the entire franchise.
So, The Force Awakens is the highest-grossing Star Wars film ever, and it's still a mediocre piece of shit.
You take that back right now, flop top?
Never.
Guys, we're not talking about Star Wars right now, so focus the fuck up. Let's begin with Chris Redfield. I'm going to be honest with you guys, to me, this motherfucker is peak in this one.
No shit. This Jim Bro never skipped arm day in his life. And thank God for those arms because this boy carries this game.
Look, I'll admit that it's kind of ridiculous how he went from this to that, but I believe there's a good reason for it.
And that would be,
well, if he had those massive tanks he's carrying around, he'd have been able to save Steve back in Antarctica, and then the Redfield bloodline would have been saved.
God damn it, Donnie, you idiot.
Okay, I'm done, I promise.
The obvious answer is he got his ass handed to him by Wesker last time, so he beefed up readying himself for their next encounter.
A lot of good it does him, but we'll get there.
Anyways, he's a recurring character that gets to finally star in his own game. He's more professional and ready for anything this go around. He's trying to find Jill, whom he thought was dead, which means that his loyalty is so high that he's willing to travel across the globe to find her.
I'm not here just for the mission.
What are you talking about?
A while back, I received some info that my old partner's still alive.
He's an absolute alpha, this boy, both his male and his stars. The dude's a fucking unit. His punches feel so hard, he's even able to stagger that giant executioner easily.
he and Shabbat both have to drop on Irving, and they just stand there instead of actually bringing him in. And then when the tear gas comes in, Chris immediately falls to the floor, right where the gas is flowing into his face. Not very professional, if you ask me.
We have no idea what the procedure is for bringing in high-profile targets at the BSAA.
Sure we do. Did you forget the beginning of Resident Evil 8?
No. Oh, and did you forget that that's not the BSAA?
And lastly, that motherfucking folder. Yeah. The only reason I don't try bullshit is that it actually works.
I'll give you the rock punching, but he's still a great partner. He saved Jill a fuck ton of times, including not letting Wesker take her down with him. The man deserves the S-tier spot, but your nitpicks aren't going to stop him.
I agree.
Okay, yes, I'll concede to it. He does much more in this game than in previous ones.
Good. Now let's rank Shell.
This one is interesting. Her personality is courageous and admirable, but since the game itself is built around co-op, it's kind of hard to imagine what she'd be like if she wasn't bogged down by 6 layers of plot armor.
You don't have to get touchy.
You're bringing up plot armor for protagonists?
Yeah, it's not like Resident Evil never had a second player running around with you before. We've covered quite a few, actually, and they were all built on their merits alone, not because of plot armor.
Just hear me out. Remember that she was about to quit halfway through the mission?
Oh, she don't get positive.
Yeah, and Chris set her straight.
Well, it's not like she would ever walk away. The other characters would run off or even get kidnapped or knocked away. And there are moments where they must fend for themselves. But since Shepard is a co-op NPC, she's always by your side. She'll never have to survive on her own. In a way, it hinders her character growth.
I see your point.
As do I. So let's get the ranking for
She's a crack shot, able to hit a chain behind a speedy bike.
And she always has Chris's back, being completely on board for helping him find Jill. She was definitely key in her part for bringing Jill back from Wesker's control.
Again, I'd like to reiterate that she not only wanted to abort the mission, but also argues the HQ against continuing when they're the only ones left.
She redeems herself and more. I mean, she goes hand to hand against fucking Wesker, actually even stabbing him at one point.
She'd never have been able to if he wasn't already weakened. Remember, he was mopping the floor with both of them before.
Point, but she's still a solid A.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I agree. I just wish we'd have seen more of her instead of just this game.
Like if instead of Peters in RE6, Shepard was with us, tracking him down and being his second in command. It would have been a much bigger impact than what happens in that game if she was there.
Fuck, that would have been so much better.
Agreed. Anyway, who's next?
That would have to be, of course, Jill Valentine.
So,
I just want to say before we start that I absolutely love that she's blonde now. Meaning that at some point Wesker bleached her hair for some reason.
if he's got time to fix doorknobs, he's got time to bleach some hair too.
He's really sticking to the master race thing.
So unfortunately, Jill is really on the beach here in this one. She doesn't appear all.
Crouching on all fours. Plus, it can't be that device on her chest. So then that must be Wesker was training her to fight like them too? He's a martial arts instructor as well?
A jack of all trades, the man can do it all. Anyways, I'll be honest, her change is so sudden it's a little off-putting. And when you finally defeat her, she's gone for the rest of the game. A little weird to have a legacy character be sidelined like that.
It's Metal Gear Solid 2, that's what it feels like.
And why was she wearing the plague mask? It didn't do anything but hide her face, but why would they give a shit? I mean, Shadow was able to recognize it before Chris.
I have to agree, she's aware of what's driving. Unfortunately, she beats here at most.
Alright, beats here it is. A last thought. When she explains that Wesker is going to release the virus into the atmosphere, she says that only millions will die. But what's more alarming is Chris's reaction to this. He is straight up okay with millions dying just so he can stay with Jill.
When this succeeds, little boys will be spread across the globe. Millions will die.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Like, what the actual fuck, dude? Why does Jill have to convince you to stop Wesker at all at this point?
That's pretty damning. You were sitting on this while we were ranking you?
Pretty irresponsible there.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think a lapse in his judgment should lower. Anyways, let's just rank Spencer already now that he's finally made an appearance.
This dude is only in the cutscene and he dies, but just to see him finally was such a trip for me.
Agreed, Joey. He's the start of all of this. It seems terrible to put him in D tier, so maybe C because of how instrumental he was.
That seems fair. C tier seems like a good fit for him.
Come on, God.
Let's get into the bosses. How about that fucking bat thing?
Fuck that thing. Its design is so stupid. Someone literally matched a caterpillar with a bat. Says, there, that's a boss. And its belly is the weakness. Fucking D tier for how stupid it is.
Jesus, Donnie, calm down.
No, fuck that. This boss only exists to introduce the landmine, a weapon you will never use ever again in this game. This thing is one of many what the fuck bosses they kept rolling out. It's almost as if they didn't try to explain them anymore.
You want explanations on these monsters now? After all this time, the bat one is the one that crossed the line, huh?
No, but at least in the beginning you can tell what happened. This thing, though, it's fucking stupid, and you get to fight it twice. Fuck him. D tier.
I'm with Donnie on that. You literally run around in a circle and shoot its belly when it's popping open. Lame. D tier.
I'm not going to argue this with the fucking D tier it is. Next is that tentacly bitch McConnell. And I'll just say it, this is also a low-level boss. You run around the room tossing flammable cans at it while waiting for the flamethrower to refuel.
It also just loves to teleport all around the fucking room when you spank it too much.
Yeah, exposed to these points that glow brighter than the fucking sun. D tier.
Agreed. D tier.
Awesome, super quick. Next is, of course, the invasive motherfucker.
Jesus Christ, this piece of shit was an exact palette swap. In fact, the entire game is basically palette swapped enemies. This bitch with Gigantes, the chainsaws, the minigun, the Magini swap with Ganados, the dogs, pluggers that rip out the heads.
Towards Vegas and more.
They brought back liquors, but they're worse now.
So no, Barry, he's a D tier too. It's just the thought of some suit saying, what if the giant, but he was bigger and had more parasites? Pisses me off.
We can see that.
I would say maybe C tier because he's still stronger than Gigante. Just able to take out an entire team of trained BSAA.
Sorry, Donnie, but I'll have to agree. Palette swap or not, he's still probably more powerful than the ones in 4. So upper C he goes.
No, fuck that. His entire boss fight is a turret section. You don't even have to strategize, just point and shoot. Even Leon had to fight 2 of them at the same time, which was more entertaining than this fucking shit. D tier.
He's too ramped up.
Fine, fuck it, D tier.
Good.
Okay, then there's the spider thing. You wait. I don't fucking know.
Again, fucking D. Expose weaknesses to get it to open its mouth so you can throw a grenade inside. Then, of course, it spawns ads. Unimaginative. And where was this fucking thing hiding? It's the size of a goddamn bus. And it snuck up on them?
Okay, no. You at least have to dodge its arms and kill ads. So there's more interaction than with the giant. Low C at least.
Fine.
A better boss fight would have been a gauntlet of test subjects catching and attacking you as the lift goes up. Fighting through wave after wave of that is more exciting than this shit.
Agreed. Next is motherfucking Irving.
Jesus, this fucking idiot.
Oh my god, I hated this piece of shit.
Every piece of dialogue this guy said was utter garbage. It's like the game reverted back to 1996 whenever he opened his fucking mouth.
I never really understood what he did. I guess he was the guy who funded the research or something.
I'm a businessman.
But then he's literally bullied into transforming himself into that fucking thing for some reason.
What are we talking about this? Okay.
I would put him into D tier based on his shitty accent alone. Plus his battle is just a turret fight like that giant. Just hit the weak spots and profit.
He at least had a small role to play in the plot, albeit it was incredibly minor.
Don't mention minors around Joe Bear.
God damn it, you piece of shit.
He'll go into low C tier.
Okay, who's next?
Motherfucking Excella.
This thirsty bitch.
Yet another annoying NPC. She actually thinks she's good enough to stand next to Wesker.
Were we supposed to think that she was really a main villain or something? Like, she's a higher up in Tri-Cell, and she acts like a pretentious bitch.
Maybe that's one.
She struts around like she's on Desperate Housewives.
She's definitely desperate for that Wesker D.
I had my eyes set on something much bigger.
So when they finally catch her, they don't shoot her until she starts to run away. First off, if they were going to shoot her, maybe don't do it while they're running. That's bad PR.
You would know.
Secondly, Kevin says,
Yeah, I'll give it that then.
fucking wise because she ran like a bitch. Fuck that shit. At least it makes me laugh when she's writhing in agony because it looks like the beginning of a Pepto commercial.
Okay. We've ripped into Excella more than Irving, I think. D tier then?
Now, she still becomes a boss, although a shitty one, but still, C tier at least.
Yeah, I hate it. C tier is okay.
All right then, boys, it's finally time.
Really fucking finally.
Let's fucking rank the best boy himself. Albert Wesker.
This Sigma motherfucker is perfect. There's nothing wrong with him at all. Look at his new fashion. You gotta respect that fucking drip. Everything is fire with him. His shades, his fucking theme song, even his teeth, all top tier.
His teeth? Just let him have this one.
His powers, teleporting like Nightcrawler on crack, throwing Chris around like a rag doll. He's able to take on 2 top-level BSAA agents at their peak at the same fucking time. And he does it twice. You can tell that the entire franchise has been building up to this moment when Chris and Wesker finally fight each other.
Barry, I could practically feel it dripping out of his pants.
Jesus Christ.
He can dodge fucking bullets and catch fucking rockets.
He'd probably be able to dodge them just fine if he didn't wear those sunglasses in the dark.
You can't hurt me, baby Joe, in the zone. Remember how Chris spent all those years bulking up for this fight? So, then he trained for his rematch 3 years later. Q, fuck out of here. Keep his ass over the railing. This dude is S-tier easy, and his plan makes perfect sense to me. Whoa, rated in it.
It figures you'd agree with his fucked up points of view, but we're not going to start up with this Thanos did nothing wrong crap, on you.
Fine, then I'll finish my point with these last 2 things. First, Wesker without his shirt. Second, Chris doesn't defeat him. The fucking lava does. I don't care who says it. Wesker was tag teamed by 2 agents who he was ready to go another round with until fucking Mother Earth had to step in.
Almost as if the earth was against his plan, too.
Nah, it just takes a fucking volcano to kill him. And even then, he wasn't going down easy, fucking beast.
All right, I think that's enough. S tier, absolutely.
Of course.
Damn straight, that was awesome.
Jesus, son, do you need to smoke or something?
Nah, I'm good. Let's keep going.
All right, we finished Resident Evil 5. Let's get to number 6.
Oh, man, this is going to take fucking forever.
Resident Evil 6 is like a Star Wars universe. Everyone who bumps into one another knows each other from different paths of the series. Like when Leon's plane flies over Ada fucking Long. We'll still see Chris Redfield in a high-speed chase. And when his plane crashes, he literally bumps into Sherry Merkin only a few feet away.
Sherry. Well, since we're on the subject, let's go ahead and start with Leon.
Jesus, look what they did to my boy. He's a completely different person than he was back in 4. It's like the difference between James Bond and Ethan Hunt. Day and night.
They really made it more serious in this game. No wit, nothing funny, just pure action and seriousness. And the worst part is that even though this is his campaign, it feels more like it's really for Lane.
We'll get there in a moment. Just stick with the man himself.
Okay, no problem. But there, I'm not sure using gameplay is such a good idea to factor for their ranking. Anyone you choose to play it the same way. Just mail it in until you get a QTE pop-up for finisher. Or pull one of the 8 guns out of your ass and fire.
Okay, old man, don't have a stroke. Let's just keep with the characterization then.
He doesn't really have one. He's a centerpiece for his own campaign, moved dramatically from one scene to the next, and I do mean dramatically. And the entire time he's just blindly following Helena to wherever she wants. Right after she helped cause an entire town to be destroyed and also getting the president killed.
His intentions are good, but since he's trying so hard to clear Helena's name, it's like you're controlling the sidekick of his own story.
I see your point. They took all the fun and charm out of it.
Let's just rank him already. It's too depressing to see him go from RE4 to this.
Okay, well, he kicks ass as usual. No surprise there. In fact, I think at one point while fighting Simmons, there's a moment that he regresses into his human form. And instead of shooting him in the face, Leon just runs out and punches him. Such an eye-rolling moment.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned him fixing up the RV.
I thought it was low-hanging fruit. I will, however, say that whenever he's in the car with him, he can't stop getting hit by a semi.
Me too. Even though he's okay to play, I can't ignore the downgrade that he keeps with.
I was thinking C tier, but I'm okay with B.
Same. Okay, let's go ahead and get Helena out of the way.
Jesus, where to begin? She knew about the plot to assassinate the fucking president, and she doesn't even attempt to warn them beforehand.
At the time to be insane, you had a family control. Using some president phone.
She only did it to save her sister.
She traded the life of her sister for that of the president?
As well as the entire town that follows.
Of the mobilization column has been infected with the virus. That comes down to about the 17,000 consoles.
And we're supposed to root for her?
She does change her mind and tries to let them know.
Too fucking late. If she informed them ahead of time, they may have been able to prevent it.
No one believes her except for Leon.
So imagine if she tells them earlier, and Leon, the one guy who's becoming of the president, believes her way in advance.
The president.
Hospital prices averted and lives saved. But we'll never know. And now she begins stringing along Leon from scene to scene with textbook movie padding.
There will become me.
You have some things to confess.
It's hard to explain. If I don't tell you at the cathedral, you may not believe.
You want to tell me it's down there?
So I tried it.
He could have been walking right into a trap. It's a good thing the old Leon wasn't there, because once she asked him to follow her, he just had 3 words to say.
No. He doesn't put way too much faith into someone who he definitely knows was part of the plot to kill his poets.
And I get that she loses her sister, but since we only know her as an enemy, I just don't care about it. Also, if Simmons had just said, Leon, arrest Helena as a suspect for the president's assassination, most likely he would have done so right then and there. All the evidence at that moment pointed to her. She even led Leon to a chamber where they housed VOWs. Simmons could have easily gotten away with it.
Lastly, at the end, she gets ready to take responsibility for the crime. And for fuck's sake, they just pardon her.
This is needed.
Huntington simply says that it would not be fair to try her for Simmons' actions.
The investigating commission reviewed the evidence and feel it unjust to hold you liable for Simmons' crime.
Even though she did make the hole in security which led to the president's death. She then tells her that the information would not be made public, meaning they're going to hide their involvement. And then motherfucking Leon tells her that it's what the president would have done.
The president of Rapid City.
The same president that was assassinated for wanting to tell the truth in the government's attack on Raccoon City.
Everything we know of Raccoon City. It's time to take responsibility.
He would have kept this a secret fucking bullshit. This traitor is D tier.
Wow, she did way worse than Mary Surratt and got away with fucking D tier.
I can't argue with that. All right, let's move on to Chris.
Geez, another downgrade. After losing his team, as well as receiving a simple bump on the noggin, this former Chad literally gets amnesia and forgets everything. Like a fucking soap opera.
You really don't remember anything, do you? Violence, cowardice.
Like who wrote that shit?
No shit. Wasn't this the same guy who lost both Alpha and Delta team when tracking down Wesker back in Africa?
You could argue that those men weren't under his command.
But he does a complete 180 and becomes a drunk as well and loses his fucking memory of his second in command?
Who the hell are you? Here's Gibbons. Never heard of you.
Which, by the way, I'll reiterate, I wish it had been Sheva instead of Pierce. His entire campaign would have been way better if she'd come back.
Not gonna lie, I completely agree with that one.
At least we finally got to see Leon and Chris fight each other.
For only 5 seconds. It's not worth it for them to literally scream at each other of how many people died under their watch.
Well, it's only been each other over 70,000 people.
It's not a contest to see who is the worst protector.
This is just too depressing. At least in 5, he had a modicum of fun to play with.
So what's the verdict, Steve?
I'm thinking B because he actually saves the world from chaos.
Wrong. He doesn't do that. Pierce does.
Oh shit, you're right.
In fact, based on Chris's track record in this game, if you were assigned under his command, you had an almost 100% chance of dying.
And still that one kid Acid has always been so awesome.
You're always this awesome.
Fucking cringe.
Fuck it up, baby.
Sorry, sir. Fun was in my place.
And he's the only one in the series to use a virus to save people. This motherfucker actually injects himself to help kill Haons and uses new powers against it.
Of course he's a straight up baller, A rank for sure. He sacrifices himself to save Chris and the world.
He's A tier.
All right, let's get to Ada.
What the hell is that cute thing she's using? Is that supposed to be her phone? It looks so dumb. How is that better than what everyone else uses?
It's also a camera, it's a web browser, it's a personal home entertainment system, it's a home theater, it's a financial advisor, it's a future planner.
Apparently she can use it to call anyone, including Simmons. But at no point does she call Leon and explain to him what's going on. It's not like millions of people are dying all over the world because of this shit, but she wants to keep playing her little cat and mouse game with him. So whereas she was being chaotic neutral in Ring 4, in here she cranks it up to 11 and becomes an asshole about it.
At least she does help Leon defeat Simmons, and she also destroys Carla's lab as well as Carla herself. But other than that, she's a C tier for me too.
Jesus, really? That's it?
That's all there is for her, or most of these characters. It's such a Michael Bay jerk-off fest, but because there's so many people for a limited time, they don't get much to do. Just run and gun.
I don't agree to that. She's able to figure out that Carla was masquerading as Simmons.
Ada, you're the one behind the old brother. Simmons would never be foolish enough to show his cards.
And there's finally a touching moment between Leon and herself that brings their relationship closer. Something that's been cooking since 1998.
That's true. I just wish it wasn't in this game.
It's just listening.
Shouldn't say to each other. I understand where you're both coming from with her. Like in 4, she's in the shadows and being sneaky. But in here, she's literally riding speeding trains and flying attack choppers. She's B-level at least on me.
Whatever, let's just keep going.
Speaking of B, I just want to add that I think it's hilarious how I think of the Wicker Man whenever Ada is swarmed by bees.
Fine then, Sherry Birkin.
Okay, Sherry isn't too bad. She works under Simmons and is tasked with bringing Jake in. Solid buddy system there. And I like that she acknowledges what happened in Raccoon City.
Thanks, my dad. His father didn't get it so much. He wasn't flexible.
It's also nice to see the effects of the G virus in her blood. Regenerative powers is dope, but it never amounts to anything later on except that it's used to create the C virus.
Seeing a legacy character is always a nostalgia trip, especially one that hasn't been seen for decades. It was, however, kind of weird to get some loose shots of her since the last time we saw her, she was only 12.
I didn't see a problem with it.
My God, Joe.
Of course you did.
And it created a romantic link between himself and Jake.
Geez, I would think that them forming a bond over shared experiences would have created that link. Not that one time he decided to stare at her bare ass for a few seconds.
Dad. So bottom line is that it's cool to get to see her growing up and working as a government agent. Unfortunately, her blood helps create the most powerful virus, but honestly, I'm more upset that her reunion with Leon was interrupted by Jake. Give us a hug or something. You two haven't seen each other for 15 years. What is this shit? I thought he was special to you.
Leon's not just he saved my life for doing it.
It's as bad as when Leia snubbed Chewie after Han died.
I agree. I'm okay with putting her in A tier, mainly because she actually influenced me heavily.
She kind of has to, seeing as how she was a child then.
I'm with Creepy Joe.
Asshole.
The other characters are doing worse, but she is better. A tier for me, too.
All right, no problem. Let's finish up the protagonist with Jade.
This apple-eating, edgy motherfucker, classic too cool for school D-bag.
Let's get this out of the way first. Him being the son of Wesker, but turning into a good guy is basically Ray Skywalker. And it makes me think of that shit movie form.
Something I was never clear on. So Jake is Wesker's son, and it shows he's super strong. Wesker didn't get his superpowers until he injected himself with the virus during the Mansion incident in 1998. But Jake was born in 1992.
I think the immunity in his blood is what they were really going for. Not Wesker's powers from the virus.
Then why did they make such an emphasis on his hand-to-hand combat skills? Jake is the only one who actually can switch to throwing hands. Not even Leon or Chris, both known for their physical prowess, are given that option. Not to mention they have a specific scene where he just throws down on Ustanok. Lastly, he not only has an open palm attack like Big Daddy did back in 2005, but he straight up socks the ugly fucker off